Hello and welcome everyone to Thrones Night News, the #1 fake news show in Westeros.
Today we'll be taking a look at the recent developments in Westeros. These events have come to our attention via the season finale preview. We will be breaking down the situation and even hear first-hand accounts from our reporters in the field, and also be joined by a number of guests from both sides of this conflict.
And I'm joined here by my producer Tim, who we like to include in the show from time to time. Would you like to say hi, Tim?
Yes, hello everyone. I just want to say how nice it is to be included in something. And if my mother's watching, I just want to say, look at me now, Ma. You said no one would ever want you to be a part of anything, other than your own execution. Turns out, you're only half right.
My God, that was very disturbing. I'm not going to even ask or address what you mean by half right, Tim. Did somebody try to kill you, Tim? So Game of Thrones Season 7 is coming to a close. We're only a few days away from the season finale. A lot of loose ends will be tied up. And after that last episode, there's a lot of loose ends. I do think it was a big mistake to shorten this season. I know it's a budget issue, but the story has suffered severely. Let's hope that this 80-minute long episode, which is the longest episode of Game of Thrones ever, is more on track with the Season 6 finale, Winds of Winter. So let's talk details. We know from watching the preview of this episode that it's going to feature Dany's army surrounding King's Landing before the parley between Dany and Cersei, as well as Jon Snow. We see Jaime and BRAN looking out at the massive force from the battlements of King's Landing.
Unfortunately get a hold of Jaime or BRAN. I sent about a dozen ravens out there, and most of them just came back. I believe they're from BRAN with a bunch of crudely drawn penises on them. It's just, you know, those guys, they like to joke around. But we did manage to get a Lannister soldier to give us the skinny on what's happening there in King's Landing. I believe he's the pudgy, weird, bug-eyed one that was, I believe he was the one hanging out with Ed Sheeran, and the rest of the boy band without banners in the woods there. Inside, let's see. Well, you can't say we didn't get Dick, because we got little joke there. Trying to look, sorry.
Yeah, don't.
Because I got Greyworm. Greyworm's coming through on the glass candle. Yep, the glass candle feed. We got it up again.
Do we even know how that works?
Oh, you just need complete darkness, which is fine, because when I'm not on set here with you, Justin, I'm just usually sitting in a room that's completely dark. That's how I like it.
Why do you like sitting in the darkness?
So nobody can see my tears.
All right, I'm going to stop asking you questions. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. All right, before we get into our guest segment, we will be doing one of my favorite segments that we do whenever we are looking for statistics, like we are in this case, or even when discussing historical events of the Seven Kingdoms. It's called, I looked up information on Reddit, and I'm willing to beat someone to death over it. The name kind of says it all. I hastily look up information on Reddit, and now cannot bring myself to accept anything other than exactly what I've read. This really comes in handy when we were talking about military logistics in A Song of Ice and Fire. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite segment. It's the I looked up information on Reddit, and now I'm willing to beat someone to death over it with your host, Justin Thomas. In the trailer, we see Tyrion coming into the Blackwater Bay, and he sees Euron's forces. Even with the huge advantage that Dany has over Cersei at this moment, Tyrion still does look concerned about Euron, because Euron still has been successful in every engagement against Dany. So we're briefly going to go over the numbers here and find out how much of an advantage does Dany really have. So here's the breakdown of the forces. Some estimates given throughout the book that predate some of the major events that just occurred. Dany has about 100,000 Dothraki, less than 8,000 Unsullied at this point, and probably a couple thousand, if not just 1,000 Ironborn. However, she also had the aid of Dorne. It's unclear what's going on with that. Untouched, max 50,000 men they're supposed to be able to raise. Clear advantage. Even counting out Dorne and the Reach, you have about 176,000 troops. But it is the way in which she's choosing to take Westeros, which is affecting her. She's not just able to go in with her dragons and destroy everything. Or will she? Right, Tim, who do we got? Who's on the show tonight?
We got Greyworm right now. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the Lannister soldier. And then I've got Euron Greyjoy lined up for you. Yeah, real treat. And then I believe we even might have Dany. Not confirmed yet, but we could have Dany coming on in a little bit as well. Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. Look at me now, Ma.
First off, we just want to say thank you for joining us on such short notice via Glass Candle feed. Greyworm, we know you've been doing a lot of traveling lately. We are doing multiple patrols around the capital. Are you going to do anything other than patrols? Going down on Missandei. I guess going south to Keen's Landing wasn't your first time going south this week, huh, buddy? Fantastic. Doing a patrol. Always insightful, that Greyworm. Scored an exclusive interview with a Lannister soldier who has recently returned to the capital in the case that the meeting doesn't go well. So I'd like to welcome to the show this motherfucker. First off, I'd like to say thanks for coming on. We know you're busy trying to act like the Lannisters even have a chance if this goes south.
Yes, I'm happy to be here on the show, and I'd like to say that we're more than capable of defending the castle in the event Queen Cersei does anything impulsive, which we only have very few reasons to believe will happen, besides the Sept incident.
Well, I appreciate your optimism, but I think it'd be fair to say that there is more than a few other incidents that Queen Cersei has been responsible for that could easily be looked at as hazardous or even just plain reckless deeds carried out by a psychopath with a staggering low
guy,
IQ.
Justin. You'd know if you watched the scene with me and Ed Sheeran in my group of fun-loving, kind-hearted rapists and killers. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I saw that, sure. So, what is the Queen actually doing to prepare?
Well, she's just doing what any good queen would do.
And that is?
Mostly just walking around, her hand of the King Qyburn, who's always a fun guy to be around. As well as that monster he resurrected, just keeping the morale of the people up.
If you don't mind me, with all due respect, motherfucker, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is that accent? It sounds like it's kind of Irish, kind of English, mostly offensive.
Yeah, Justin, it's most likely our satellite feed. I get it all the time, even when I just use the regular phones, or sometimes even my cell phone here. People say I sound like a pedophile. So, I mean, all sorts of nonsense. So there's, yeah, most likely the feed.
Sure, yeah.
I think that it sounds like he might be Scottish, maybe?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's doing like a fake English it must be the satellite connect.
We don't have a very wide Irish or Scottish base, so I think we can take the hit. Fuck 'em.
No, I'm actually Puerto Rican.
Could be offensive.
It's not a big deal.
So what type of things is Queen Cersei saying?
Well, Qyburn is always asking anyone if they have any dead bodies around for him to take back to his lab and do stuff with. He also makes sure to ask about everyone's kids, like where they are and do they like the sugared plums. And the Queen, of course, is just telling everyone in the city that she's pregnant and that it's her brother's child. And then she hides in dark rooms to drink massive amounts of alcohol.
That makes a lot of sense. You can't have people thinking you're a bad mother.
Absolutely.
And this is the segment where I speak my mind, and it's not pleasant. So we now see Sansa looking all dark at Winterfell. And I just have to say, I am a fan of Sansa, and I think there are big things coming her way, especially in the books. But I hated everything she did this season, and that had a lot to do with Arya and Littlefinger. I feel Littlefinger has went from carrying out highly complex plans to sitting in the corner like a sad boy at his middle school dance and pouting because the cute redhead won't get with him. I mean, he can sink so low for some ass. As far as this whole situation up north goes, I'm just over it. I mean, Littlefinger has earned his death, and it's certainly coming.
Littlefinger expertly stokes.
Is that what she thinks?
I don't know what she thinks. I don't know her anymore.
Littlefinger's death will be carried out by everyone's favorite monster, Arya, who I am assuming will find common ground with her sister because they will find out that they're both strong, but just in different ways. And different ways is a really nice way of putting that. Don't get me wrong, I like Arya, and I've liked her just as much as someone can, like a character on a train wreck of a character arc that is being driven by either two lazy writers or two maniacs, your choice. I'm not gonna say I didn't like Arya's sparring match with only human, but guess who isn't human? Arya. She is a psychopath and a murderer. She isn't a hero. This season definitely would have been a good time to end Arya's arc, and at least showed a less glamorous way of killing. It looks like they are just going to dive even deeper and deeper into how much of a badass Arya is. Sansa wanted to become a princess, and she learned that wasn't the life she wanted. And Arya wanted to become a warrior, and she should be realizing now that killing isn't okay, since that is one of the primary themes of the story. But Dan and Dave seem to ignore that fact when it comes to Arya, at least. After tonight's episode, we'll see if the North will be alone on the front line. The North will be one little finger short when they're prepping for the long night.
There is only one war that matters, and it is here.
At that point, I think not to look at this guy and realize that this is not like the other boys.
I don't like anything without a dick. Right, Euron Greyjoy. We only have a few minutes, pal, so let's get to it. First off, a lot of people talking about the way you dress, the way you walk. It seemed like last season you weren't a big hit, and this season you are just a hit, buddy. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah. People make a big deal out of what I wear, but it's really just some stuff I throw on, like this crazy top hat and these cool sunglasses. Mm-hmm. Is that eyeshadow? I also like to put on some eyeshadow. So as far as Yara goes, is she dead? Do you still have her? What's the deal? Are you planning on killing your niece, or what's the plan? No, we haven't killed her yet. I like messing with Theon, see? He ain't got no dick. That's funny to me. So I'm gonna keep her around for a bit. Yeah. No, a lot of people don't like Theon, but they feel you're going a little far. But I still got a dick, not like Theon. Mm-hmm. Golden Company's really gonna happen. How far are they gonna dive into that? No, the Golden Company is happening, brother. And if anybody can get it done, it's me. I built 1,000 ships in 2 weeks. Well, I would say it was fun having you on, pal, but that would be a lie. I don't like anything without a dick. Yeah, that makes sense with that eyeshadow. Mm-hmm. You're a terrible character, you're a terrible person, and I hope the worst happens. All right. Talk to you later, brother. All right, that's all the time we have tonight, folks. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is a new experiment, trying something new with this video. Make sure to enjoy the season finale of Game of Thrones, airing tonight. Be on the lookout for the Thrones Night review video. Talk to you later, brother.